Hello, my name is Alex Quinn. I'm a paper engineer with over a decade of experience designing paper toys and paper crafts, and this is a tour of my new workspace. The office is split into 4 areas, each based on one of the major parts of paper engineering. There's the design area, the building area, the photography area, and the project desk. In this video, I'll be focusing on one area at a time, walking through what's there and why, as well as answering some questions about my workspace submitted by my subscribers. The design area is where most of the magic happens. It consists of a PC tower and a Wacom 24HD for an illustration tablet, as well as a generic Dell monitor on the top. The computer is an old Alienware tower which I've had for years and years. It was my first major investment after I got some funding from my paper toy design business. I'm aware that Alienware has a reputation for being overpriced, and I agree. This machine has been through a lot. It's a hunk of junk and it's literally held together with paper clips, but it gets the job done. The entirety of this design setup is attached to the desk, which is on wheels so I can more easily move it around. The computer sits on a plank of wood, the monitor is clamped to the stand, and the rig connects to the rest of my desks with a single umbilical cord. Umbilical. Oh, I can never say that word. A single big fat wire. Mobility is really important to me, and you'll notice a lot of the equipment in this office is on wheels so I can move it around if I need to. This way, if I need to get to the back of my PC, I can just pull it out and get to it. And if I need to connect some wires, I can just move it around and get to the parts. And if I need to redo all my cable management, I can just pull the entire computer around, get to the back, and get to it. Putting this setup on wheels and making it so that it attaches to the power with a single plug has been one of the best changes I've made to this setup in a decade. It makes life so much easier. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell asked, "Have you accidentally hurt your pinky toe on that desk?" I assume because of the foam pieces that I have on the bottom of this desk along with on the design area, and the answer is yes. I especially hurt myself by smashing my foot against the brake on this wheel, and it sucks. The building area. As the name suggests, this is where I build all of my paper crafts and prototypes when I'm working. There's an overhead bar which has a mounting screw in it so I can attach the camera mount, which makes filming the building process much easier. And there's also this ring light up top so that I can see what I'm doing. At the back we have another generic Dell monitor. This one is mounted to the top so that way I can still use all the space that's beneath it. This monitor is wired up to show whatever's on the top monitor of the design rig, so if I'm working I can watch videos whilst I build, or if I'm filming I can see what the Elgato is picking up and see what I'm doing. There's also a webcam on a little arm mount, which is something I might use for live streaming at some point. Down the right side I have a set of ceramic fish pieces. I'm planning to put some plants into these soon, and at the bottom I have some brand new storage boxes that I just picked up and I really like these. One box has my Rode Go microphone setup, which has things like extra batteries in it. The other box is full of my crafting tools, which is what I use to build, and usually that sits on the top. And I have an extra box which is empty because I like to have room to grow. I really like it when storage boxes match. It really bugs me when they don't. And so when I see like a nice storage box, I'll tend to pick up quite a few of them because I will use them. I will grow into using them. And the thing I like about these ones specifically is that they're grey, which is nice, but they're also recyclable. So say I do move on to a different storage system, I'm not making a bunch of plastic waste. On the left hand side I have some more storage, and then I have my makeup station. I've never really had a place specifically for my makeup, so it felt really nice to integrate this into my workspace. There's a pull out mirror on the side, and I can reposition that overhead ring light behind the mirror so I can see what I'm doing when I'm applying my makeup. Oh no, what are you doing? Oh no. Oh no. At the bottom I have some books on packaging design and some artwork by Kajit Golid from I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, from Generated Spaces, which I've edited into a grid and turned into little bean people. I'm a big fan of the artwork on Generated Spaces, and so there's a lot of that dotted around the office. Beneath the desk I have more of that gross looking foam on either side, and that's to stop the arms of my office chair slamming against the table when I'm recording, because it's really loud and annoying to hear me knocking the desk as I fidget in my chair. The photo area. This is the photography area. I used to have a really complicated setup with a bunch of these really big and chunky light boxes that used daylight bulbs, but after we were quarantined and I basically just had to half the size of my office overnight, I realized I didn't really need all of that. And this simple little setup worked fine. The backdrop is just 2 sheets of A3 printed cardstock attached to 2 magnetic plates, one at the back and one at the bottom. On either side there's a ring light, just like the one above the building area, which neatly folds away when not in use, and then when I'm going to take some photos I'll pull them out, and then at the top there's a socket for one of those big chunky daylight bulbs, but to be honest I don't really use it very often. I think it makes a really harsh shadow. You can see that there's this little strip of foam underneath it in case the arm slips and the bulb hits against the wood, because these bulbs are really fragile, which is one of the reasons I replaced them with cheap and cheerful ring lights. At the top we have a set of paper toys by Dolly Oblong, and then above that I have like a big kind of storage beam. I don't know what you'd call that, like just some storage space, and I have some where I keep things like my rechargeable batteries and my Zoom microphone. And then at the top we have some more artwork from Generated Spaces. We've got some paper crafts that I really like. I have my Faden archive, which is one of my favourite things that I own. I love this thing. It's just a shame it's so big and heavy. Maybe I'll do a video about that if that's something that you're interested in. And then we have some more artwork from Generated Spaces. To the left of the photo area are my archive hard drives. I try and keep my computer relatively file free, so only what I'm currently working on is on there in case something goes wrong. I've had my computer die a few times, so I've lost files before. So whatever I'm not working on, I keep on these archives. I think they're 4 terabytes each. Tanuki1029 says, I'm curious about your printer. The colour is always super vibrant on the toys you showcase, so it would be cool to see how you manage that. Which takes me to my printing rig, which lives underneath the photo area. It's on wheels, so it pulls out from underneath, letting me save a lot of room, and it means that I can get to the back and sides with ease, and so if I need to move things around or fix things, I can just get to them, rather than having it up against a wall where it's a real pain every time there's a problem with the printer. I have 2 printers. The primary printer is a HP 7500A, which is an A3 printer, which I've attached a continuous ink supply system to. This SIS for short means that I don't have to keep buying new cartridges, and I can just top up the ink directly into these reservoirs. It means I save money and produce less plastic waste. I filmed the entire process of installing this continuous ink system. Let me know if you want me to do a video about this. The second printer is a cheap and cheerful Canon Pixma, which I picked up for something like £30 from Aldi. But honestly, it's really good. But a lot of the product shots I've been putting out recently were printed on this printer, and no one's noticed a change in quality or anything, and I think that's pretty good. To answer your question, Tanuki1029, the reason my photos look vibrant is because they're edited in Photoshop. Like, a lot of the images will look really gross when I first take them, but then I pump up the saturation and try and get as close to the digital file colors as I can. On the far side of the office is the daybed. This is where I relax and unwind. It pulls out into a double bed, which is great for if we have guests over, or if I'm working really late, and like say I'm up till 3 AM just working on something because I'm in the zone, I can just pull it out and sleep here instead of disturbing my other half. Duffy asks, do you have a pet? Where do they rest in your room? Cover that please. I have 3 pets. I have 2 cats named Snot and Phlegm, and a dog named Bile. Bile will usually just jump up on here and watch me as I work, and then every time I move in my chair he gets really excited. In the daybed drawers I have all kinds of papercraft kits and books which I plan to get around to reviewing eventually. I'll review it one day, I tell myself as the darkness of the shame drawer slowly consumes me. On the right hand side of the design area is my project desk, which is where I lay out whatever I'm working on at the moment, and so I can keep track of everything. This is also on wheels, so I can film behind it if I need to, which is how I plan to do those reviews. Currently on the project desk we have some designs that were part of a commission, so all the prototypes are laid out there so I can kind of keep track of them. I have a copy of the sociological review Turf Wars. I want to do a video called Blanchard's Typology, Pseudoscience, and Here's Why. And so I was looking at the references in this for a piece on autogynephilia. And then we have a book which I'm using as reference material for a Papercraft Tank project. Underneath the project desk I have a radiator for when it gets chilly, because I live in England, so it's always wet and cold and miserable, and save me, please save me from this island, help me please. Tipsum Simon says, I want to see where you store paper, and this is it. I worry you're going to be disappointed because I just use a single set of A4 drawers. I mostly use the same cheap cardstock that I get from Poundland, and then I have some A3 card in a box, which is either 160 GSM or 300 GSM, depending on what I'm working on. And then here we have a dual arm CNC machine, which basically means that I can cut paper with it. And so that's my office, that's my workspace. If you do have any questions about the specifics or things that you've spotted along the way, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I've been taking a bit of a break from making videos recently just because... Ow, what was that? What? Oh, my glasses just broke. What the Oh. Like the wire at the bottom of my glasses just... I wasn't even touching them. Oh no. Oh, I guess I'm gonna go to the opticians now. Fuck. Goodbye.